Baba says that I give you the mantra to discipline your mind. And the mantra is Man Mana Bhav. That is, remain in silence and constantly remember me alone. And Baba says this is the mantra that will control Maya. Now, what exactly is a mantra? So, mantra is a true and shortcut method. It's a true method, something that takes you to the attainment, and it's a very shortcut method to get to something. And you see that disciplining the mind, this has been a subject for which a subject which has been the quest of many human beings for a long time, and everybody wants to discipline the mind, and people have done a lot to discipline the mind. They have made a lot of effort. They've left their homes, they've gone to jungles, they have tried doing hatha yoga, taming the body, having control over every organ of the body, so that they could just discipline the mind. But nobody has ever been able to do that. And mostly, then people think that maybe if we just leave from here and go to the soul world, then the mind will be disciplined. But Baba says that one big problem with this whole approach is that people think that when the mind is disciplined, then it will become thoughtless. Yes, so, but what is the definition of discipline? Discipline enables you to do that which you are supposed to do. It doesn't make you useless, right? So you wouldn't say that if a child is just sitting in the corner doing nothing all day, then he's very disciplined. No, a child does what he's supposed to do. According to the timetable, if he's able to make best use of his time, then you would say that the child is disciplined. Similarly, what is the job of the mind? What is the mind supposed to do? The mind is supposed to create thoughts. Why is the mind there if it's supposed to be just silent and thoughtless? So, the mind is an organ that creates thoughts. So, it's supposed to create thoughts. And if it's not creating thoughts, then what is the use of the mind? So, Baba says it's not that when you say discipline the mind, disciplining the mind doesn't mean that you kill the mind and the mind is not able to produce thoughts. That's not disciplining the mind, but the mind creates positive, powerful, purposeful thoughts. The mind creates thoughts that are necessary, thoughts that are useful, thoughts that are accurate. That is what we call disciplining the mind. And Baba says that doesn't happen through the practice of hatha yoga and trying to just, run away from the world and run away from everything that is stimulating thoughts. So that's not the way you do it. And Baba says that when you win over Maya, that is when the mind is not distracted by vices. So the quality of your thoughts doesn't change into vicious. So if your mind is not creating negative, wasteful, vicious thoughts, which when put into action put you into karmic debt, then you would say that yes, this is like disciplining the mind. So Baba says you have to win over Maya. Maya jeete jagat jeet, not man jeete jagat jeet. You don't have to make the mind thoughtless, you have to make the mind free from Maya. So no negative, no wasteful thought, and only powerful, positive, purposeful, accurate and accurate thinking. That's what we want to do. So Baba says, how do you do that? You do that by following this piece of advice that Baba gives, that just remain in silence and constantly remember me alone. And you see that the mind thinks. And what does the mind think? The mind thinks wherever the yoga of your buddhi is. So, you first have buddhi yoga, and then wherever is your buddhi yoga, your mind thinks about those things. And you see, in the old world is called Dukh Dham, the world of sorrow, or it is called a dirty world. Now, wherever you focus your attention in the old world, whether it is on past events, whether it is right now what's going on, whether you think about what is going to happen in the future in the old world, then what do you think about? You will always think about thoughts of Maya. But Baba says, if you have the option, Baba first educates us that you have your intellect, your buddhi is like a muscle, and you can just pull that muscle inwards or you can extend it outwards. So earlier we didn't know this. We thought that we cannot take our buddhi inwards and upwards. We just thought that our buddhi is meant to wander outside. And we took it to the past, we took it to the body, we took it to the relationships, to others, but we did not know that this buddhi can also be turned inwards and it can be taken upwards, because we didn't know what lies in the beyond. We had no knowledge of the soul world, we had no knowledge of Baba, and all we knew was now you see, it's the where you can take your buddhi is an aspect of knowledge, right? So many people say, that being a frog of the well. So, when kuएं का मेंढक, now what is a kuएं का मेंढक or a frog of the well? So you see, the frog doesn't know that the world outside the well exists. So he can only physically and mentally be inside the well, because he has never seen anything outside the well. Now you see that before globalization, yes, before this liberalization and globalization, before pre-90s, what was the scenario? The scenario was that people did not know much about, further than their country, or, further than some of the neighboring countries. They did not know more about the whole world. But now with this globalization, the world has become, a small village. And then now we know everything about what's happening in the US, or what's happening in London, or what is happening in other parts of the world. And we know that our buddhi is now in so much of expansion, because although you might not have gone to any country, but your buddhi is all over the place. You know about the war that is happening in some country, you know about the floods that are happening in another country, you know about the good that is happening in another country, or the illness that's broken out in another country. So based on knowledge, or based on information, your buddhi is able to reach out far and wide into different corners of the world. Why? Because you got the information about it. Now when Baba comes, Baba gives us the information about what is inside and what is beyond, and what was there in the distant past and what's going to be there in the near future. So, Baba gives us the knowledge about the three aspects of time. He tells us about Satyug, he tells us about what happened in Dwapar Yuga, he tells us about where is the soul world and the subtle world, and he tells us all these things, and he also tells us the most important thing, which is you can just move your buddhi from outside to inside and beyond. So that's the most important thing. Like, when people go for yoga, so the yoga teacher has a body where he has exercised all his muscles. So then he will say that you can stretch your hand so much backwards, or you can stretch your legs so much backwards, or your back, you can just stretch it and take it, you can just turn around and stretch it so much. But a person who is going there for the first time may think that it is impossible, all those yoga poses. But then if he tries, if he makes one attempt, two attempts, three attempts, then he is also able to discover for himself that this is very much possible, and this is my own body, and I had never experimented with it, and I didn't know that it is capable of this. So similarly, Baba tells us that your buddhi is capable of going inwards and focusing on that which is within, and it is capable of going in the beyond and focusing on the soul world or the subtle region and focusing on Baba, and your buddhi is capable of going into the golden age, silver age, copper age, iron age, and it has the capacity to rotate the discus of self-realization, or it has the capacity to churn on the 84 births that you have taken. And Baba says this is a very big gift that Baba gives us, and based on that, what we start doing is we start taking our buddhi where Baba is telling us to take it. And Baba tells us that you can move your buddhi to the soul world, and there I am sitting, and you know me, you know who I am, you know my qualities, my powers, and you can just stabilize your intellect on me, and the intellect is able to stabilize itself on an image. So you see that I have the image of a small star, and I am the ocean of virtues and powers, and you just focus on me. And then Baba says that wherever is your focus of attention, your mind will start thinking about that stuff, and you will start creating an experience. And Baba says this is the way to stabilize your mind and win over Maya, because how are we experiencing the disturbance of the world, or how are we getting unsettled by the disturbance of the world? It is by thinking about it. Yes, it is only by thinking about it. Let's say you are sleeping and you have no information about the fire that just broke, 500 meters from your place. So do you worry about it? Does it disturb you? It doesn't disturb you, because nothing can disturb you if you don't think about it. It's not the happening, it's not the taking, it's not the giving, it's the thinking that disturbs you. When you start thinking about something, it starts disturbing you. You start thinking about something that happened in the past, which doesn't exist at all. Where is the past? Does the past exist? No. So why are you thinking about it? Yes, so when you think about the past, You're thinking about a ghost who doesn't exist. And that ghost is also a figment of your imagination, because the way you're thinking about your past is just the way you have recorded the incidents that happened in your memory track. It is very, very subjective. It's not based on, it's not the truth. It's just a version of what you have recorded at that time. It's your angle, it's your your angle of vision which has made you experience it like that, and that's what you're carrying. And then you are so fixated with it that whenever you think about it, you are upsetting yourself. Or even if something is happening on the outside, if it's something you cannot control and you're just thinking about it, that see, most things you can't do anything about. Most of the things that are happening around, you really can't do anything about. Yes, these days, when children are fighting and children are, doing stuff, parents also have to just sit and watch, because even the children are not in control. After a certain age, 16, 17, 18, 19, you have no control. So when the more you think about it, you will just disturb yourself. So think about things that you can do something about. If you can't do something about anything, then why think about it? And Baba says, and in order that your mind is free from all the feelings which disturb you, upset you, make you uncomfortable, like fear, like desire, like jealousy, like complaint, like all these feelings, or anger or disappointment. If you want your mind to be free of these feelings, if you want your mind to be free from Maya, then what do? You take your buddhi to Baba and just remember Baba. And when you start remembering Baba, you start thinking about Baba's form, Baba's qualities, Baba's virtues, and filling your mind with the feelings that you experience in this remembrance of Baba, then your mind will be free from all other feelings that come in the face of you thinking about the old world. Yes, but what is the catch here? Why? See, it's such a good mantra, and this mantra can, this mantra can really make you discipline your mind, and it can make you win over Maya. But do you use that mantra? Do you use this mantra? Yes, so do you use this mantra very often? And I will tell you one thing. There are two things about not using this mantra enough, not using this mantra enough to realize its potential. One thing is lack of deep understanding. Second thing is, the ability to do it. Lack of the ability to do it. And lack of the ability to do it has also got two aspects. So, one thing is people don't understand. Maybe, Raj Yoga is a very new thing. Baba comes and teaches us this Raj Yoga. Baba comes and teaches us how to withdraw the intellect, how to take it to Baba, how to experience Baba, how to think about spiritual matters, how to think about the three aspects of time, the three worlds. These things nobody who has not come to Baba can do it, because it's something very new. But for children who know this, who understand this, what is the big challenge? You see, where does your intellect move? Where does your intellect get drawn? It gets drawn to where you are attracted and attached. Yes, and it gets drawn to where you're attracted and attached. And you see, for attachment and for attraction, you need to appreciate and you need to experience the relationship that you have with that one. So when we talk about the old world, you see, the soul in a body conscious world has a relationship with the body. Yes, the soul has a relationship with the other actors around. You think, this is my mother, this is my brother, this is my sister. Yes, but the soul basically doesn't realize that Baba is the one I have all relationships with. And when the more you churn over it, that basically I'm a soul and this is my Baba, end of story. There is no third person in this story. It is between me and Baba. There is no third character in this story. This whole story is about me and Baba. And when you start understanding that basically all my needs are spiritual, I have been trying to fill my spiritual needs through physical means because I did not have an idea about how to fulfill my spiritual needs through spiritual means. So I started doing it through physical means, right? But now I understand that my needs are not physical, they are spiritual. And my spiritual needs are going to be fulfilled by the spiritual Father. So whatever I need basically is coming from Baba. So that realization, when you understand that this is Baba and Baba is my world and this is enough. So I have all relationships with Baba and everything I want is coming from Baba. When you understand that, appreciate that, and when you understand that God is the truth, that Baba is the most beautiful one, most attractive one, and these things can only be realized by an intellect that is clean. And it takes a lot of time to do this cleansing because there is so much burden of sins on on the soul that it doesn't happen in a moment, and it takes a while to come to that place where you understand that you have everything to do with Baba and nothing to do with anyone else or anything else. And you just have to play your part in the world and you have to do it with yoga power. So if you have a good relationship with Baba, then you can continue to play your Sangam Yogi part and you don't need anybody else's support for that. And you can just you will earn good wishes when you play your part well, and those good wishes are important, but you don't need anybody's support you can have all from Baba. But the more you just this happens through continuous deep churning. When you keep churning about who am I, who do I really belong to, who is my father, when you keep churning about how Baba is talking to me in the Murli, how Baba is directing me in the Murli, how Baba is hand holding me at every step, and you start appreciating that Baba is here for me and Baba is enough, only then will you be able to have this man manabhav state where you have your mind and buddhi always focused at Baba. And Baba is the ocean. Baba is the ocean of virtues, powers, and in that state our mind is like the mind of God. It's full of virtues and powers. And Baba says, when your mind is like that, then no weak thought, no thoughts of this old world, no thought that upsets you can come to you. And also in this state, Baba can give you a lot of love and inspiration and a lot of strength to carry out Baba's task. But This is something that we have to understand. And then second important thing is habit. You see that it is said that man is a creature of habit. And yesterday there was this one brother, he's a Kumar, and he told me that I'm so addicted to the phone that I constantly keep scrolling on the phone. And I told him, so why do you do it? So he said, I don't know, because my eyes are aching, I'm feeling bored, disgusted with the phone, I don't like it, I have really grown aversive to it, I don't enjoy whatever I'm seeing, but I'm just doing it. And my hands are not able to stop themselves, and I'm not able to leave the phone. Every time I sit, I have had 20 thoughts while I'm talking to you that I must pick the phone and scroll. And he told me, what is this? So I said, this is compulsiveness, which is generated by habit. And when you create a habit, then that habit makes it, that habit pulls you into the state which is called very compulsive behavior. And when you are into compulsive behavior, then even if you are not enjoying what you're doing, you're still doing it, because that's coming out of habit. You are understanding it, you are not relishing it, but you're still doing it because the pull of the habit is so much. And body consciousness is a habit. And you see that our mind and intellect have this habit of just getting sucked into the old world all the time. Because for 63 births, just imagine what 63 births means. 63 births we've been just in this old world, not taken our intellect anywhere, and now it's such a deep habit. And that is why it needs a lot of conscious practice, a lot of determined conscious practice to just take your buddhi to Baba and practice stabilizing it. It has to be done very consciously so that you get into the habit of remembering Baba. And this habit is not going to come organically or easily to us. It has to be practice, it has to be created through determined regular practice. This is sadhana. So what we call sadhana, that sadhana has to be there. And I remember many years ago there was this Didi, and she told me, I was just telling her about sharing some problems, something that was happening, and I was not able to, find what to do in that, or I was not able to figure the way out. And then she told me this one sentence, tapasya karo. And at that time, I didn't understand it. I did not understand what she means by tapasya karo. And after many years, I started understanding that, this is a very, although, it looks like it's a very easy path and it's for the grihast, and Baba makes it sound very easy, but basically it's a very tapasvi path, and you have to have a lot of tapasya in this. And then I started understanding that although this is not physical tapasya like sitting in one posture or wrapping your leg over your leg and then sitting in padmasana or anything, but it's a lot of tapasya, because there has to be this constant, this continuous effort to just take your man and buddhi to Baba and stabilize in Baba's remembrance. And you have to be very creative to feel that you have to really use your man and buddhi to experience Baba's light and love all that time. because it's not that you just take your man and buddhi and it'll sit there. Again, you have to, with your with that whole treasure of knowledge that you have to be creative to be able to experience Baba in all relationships and experience Baba's virtues and powers and not give up on it. And this has to be done very constantly and continuously in order to be in that state where you are able to stay manmanabhav. And when you are able to do that, then it becomes very organic, and then you start, first things first, first you have to just practice, and later you start experiencing everything organically. But to reach that stage, you have to have a lot of tapasya. So when so just like when when you're trying to do something for the first time, then you have to set a rapport and set everything into harmony and make that effort. Once it's all done, it flows organically. So this is the method here. So Baba says, and this is the only way to discipline your mind, win over Maya, and also the next step is, after you win over Maya, you start becoming an instrument for God. And then your mind will get inspired, you will receive the thoughts from Baba, you will receive inspirations from Baba, you will receive directions from Baba, you will feel like Baba is step by step guiding you, and you are doing Baba's task based on Baba's directions every moment. So this is something. And then today Baba is talking about people who live in the family, especially husband and wife. And Baba says that if there is a couple in the old world, and though that husband and wife, if they lead a lotus-like life, so the first important thing is your lotus-like life. So if you are able to create that life where there is no lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, so you're living in the family, but you're living like a lotus. If you're able to do that, then Baba says that's the first step. And then when you make your life like that, and then you also start doing seva. So when you start doing seva and you start creating subjects and heirs for Baba, and you start doing that seva, then Baba says you can become very, very eligible for a very good position in Satyug. Because Baba says that, and it's a very interesting thing that in the world, this relationship, the relationship between a husband and wife, is a very tricky karmic account. Because you can damage each other like anything. And if you look at the world, most couples are individually not able to move forward because of each other, if you look at that. But if you just reversed it, then you could do more than anybody else could do. And I always have a very mathematical formula for this. So we always say that a couple is a half, and half and half, when they come together they'll become full. But I think if you're vicious, if there is this relationship of vice, then instead of being half and half plus half, it's half multiplied by half, and it becomes 1/4 for each other. And then if you have a pure life, then it is 1 and 1, 11. And that is a mathematics that most people don't understand. But if a couple is having pure life, and there is no attachment, no lust, no ego, and you are able to live like companions, and you are able to do Baba's seva, then you can be 1 and 111, and you can win over the world, and you can do a lot of seva, because you see that it's a perfect companionship, perfect partnership, and that is something very rare to find. And Baba really says today that if you can be that, then you can also win over Baba's kursi, you can replace Baba and Mama, but Baba says that's not going to happen, because that's not happened. But then what you can do is you can take the second position at least. You can become the next Lakshmi Narayan. Yes, so all those who are, so in Gyan, just and always have the effort to bring your partners into Gyan also. Make your effort, otherwise it's destiny, but make your effort, and Baba is looking forward to those who are in Grihast and who can take this responsibility of doing seva for Baba by having that power of purity. Okay, Om Shanti.